Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Reverend G. I am Reverend Grenetta Mason, aka Reverend G, and I'm here every Monday night bringing you conversations with guests from all walks of life with different stories, sharing about their lives and how spirituality plays a role in our lives. We talk about love, we talk about life, and we talk about spirituality from a practical point of view. Each Monday night, we come together to share with you in hopes that we can touch, move, and inspire you in a way that supports you in living your best life with grace and ease. We talk about spirituality from a practical point of view. How does it support you in your everyday life? I talk about the spiritual toolkit. The spiritual toolkit consists of the practices that support you. It's personal. Each one of us, we have spiritual practices that work for us. So we talk about what's in our spiritual toolkit and we share practices, information, anything that's going on that we feel can support you. There's so much going on right now. Every day we wake up to something different. So we're looking to see how can spirituality, spiritual practices, different consistent practices that you do can support you during this time. You can see me every day on Facebook as Reverend Grenetta Mason with inspirational messages to support you throughout your day. I'm also on Instagram as Rev Grenetta. Tonight, I am excited to have a very special guest, Charzette Torrance. I know her as Charlie T, but I'm excited to have Charzette here. Charzette is a creative. She's a photographer, a filmmaker, a producer, a writer. She's just done so many creative things. And I'm excited to have her here talk about what she's doing and also share with us her spiritual journey. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Yay.
Hi, hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Rev G.
Yep, I'm excited to have you on the show. And today I was thinking, well, where did I meet Charlie T? And it went all the way back to Living Beyond Belief. You were the photographer, right?
Right.
when and
Yep.
that, yo, you
I
know
was
how
doing a
long ago
lot
that
of
was.
PR then. Yep.
Yeah, and that's how I met you so long ago. So it's nice to, keep in touch with people and see what's going on with them and find out. And I know a lot of things since then. I knew you, Charlie T, the photographer. So since then, I know so many things have happened, and you're doing a lot of great things. So share with us. What are you doing now? What you're passionate about? Let's just talk about some of the things you're into now.
Well, my passion has always been visuals, any visuals. Um, I have a BFA in photography. I'm
Mhm.
shooting company corporations, and I'm a WB woman. So, because my creativity, I could change ads. That's how I met you at an event. From there, since I've been photographing since 1991, I don't want to tell my age. Years of shooting ads, and the plus side to that, I got to know people, and I got to know companies, and it's taught me how to network. But shooting for years, really, I've been shooting since I was 14 years old.
Mhm.
I wanted a transition. And during that time, my relief was always art. So I decided that I wanted, when the big YouTube came out, the golden age, everybody was like, oh, now we as people of color can't film my stuff. It was so exciting. And
Mhm.
everybody was doing it. But I always have photographed, besides commercials and photography, my fine art exhibiting always been about issues that's
Mm.
in the world.
Mhm.
Because I leave one world, I go home to the hood.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and I felt that there has to be a way visuals to show that. That's how I became a exhibit artist, because I saw that one was happy, and why are we not happy? And the
Mm-hmm.
problems like gun violence, abortion, back then is still happening now. So
Mm-hmm.
with my exhibiting fine art mixed media, later on I started adding words to give an impact. This
Mm-hmm.
stuff been going on too long.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I did the Just Right project of portraits of gay Americans, 75% people of color, 25% not.
Mm-hmm.
It was at the library over there on Madison, and people like, I can't believe these gay people, the things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we just like you. That's why I call it just as we are. Our
Right.
life is no different. We have
Right.
problems and challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, I really want to transition. It got to be more than just photography.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to do, I was talking to Keith Borkins. He said, you know what? You should write a book about your life. And life is so interesting. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, right. I was right because I got dyslexia. I'm not going to sit down and write. That's too much for me. So my partner Danielle said, let's do filming, not on YouTube, because anything about us as lesbian stories haven't been told. We're not
Mm-hmm.
L word. We don't go on a beach and, just get money and stuff like, oh, my life was easy. And then instead
Right.
of third season, I'm thankful it's up on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Then it didn't become about us.
Right.
And that's all I heard gay women, lesbian, color saying, that do not represent me. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like TV was always like, okay, this is a lesbian life, but they leave out the people of color. Now the boys stuff been up from Noir art, everything, but never the lesbian woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, if I do TV, because of all the closed doors, they can get the stuff up because they're in a union, they got friends, they got real cameras to film.
Right. Right.
Right. We just got the 35 millimeter camera, so everybody's happy, right? But I said it has to be theory behind what's on TV and how to write. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
took, and most projects take 10 years to get up. That allowed me to become SAG before I ever did a film. It
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to get an entertainment lawyer, and it allowed me to trademark the name. And I
Mm-hmm. Okay.
studied how these TV shows, like the guy that did Pores, they own a trademark. And I figured that can go back to the lesbian community. So we can start building and representing ourselves right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, if she told me TV, I wouldn't do it again because it's real dirty. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people had tried to take the Project Genuine Peak, which is loosely based on my life.
Mm-hmm.
We have paid a lot of legal fees
Mm-hmm.
for cease and desist. And that's how I knew the project was good.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want to short and put it up unless we had the goal was quality, a real camera crew like Hollywood. And
Mm-hmm.
so within that time, we have certain writing assistants. And me and Danielle, I got a book from Amazon. Me
Mm-hmm.
and Danielle wrote the first year. We did get script advisors before we start writing. And we
Mm-hmm.
wrote the first year and outline for year 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, finding out, getting someone in entertainment to believe in us. I never stop. I never stop. And
Mm-hmm.
so I said, let me call Tracy Baker Sims. And people in the entertainment business are so rough because a lot of stuff happened. She said, what do you want with me?
Mm-hmm.
I said, Danielle, don't worry. She all right. But when we sat down, that I knew she was one because that energy flows between me, Danielle, and Tracy.
Okay.
Everybody had a different strong quality,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we wrote the first script, she had a right to do a test to market it, which is
Mm-hmm.
what is out there now, a short at different film festivals. Over and over again. She even
Mm-hmm.
challenged us. And then it came to the point, look, we going with this. We ain't taking the lesbian off. It doesn't matter. And that was her testing us to see how well we can write. And she asked us in the last minute, How well we can write and turn it over. And so she got the film crew.
Okay.
Now, at the time we was post production, pre production. I had my second stroke. I'm thinking, oh, we got this far.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to get the crew and location. What do I do? And
Mm-hmm.
so, I'm in a private room because they need to figure out why the hell I'm walking and talking.
Mm.
You're not a regular person that get a stroke. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure. Why are you walking and talking normal?
Mm-hmm.
So they got a genius doctor figure it out what was going on. They just
Mm-hmm.
have to figure out one more thing. And they had me dance to Aretha Franklin. And then I walked in the hallway and prayed for everybody because no one was moving in the stroke. Only me. I had no one to talk to but me. So the doctor said, go ahead and meet with the film crew. So when the doctor came in, Daniel freaked out. She's in the hospital.
Right.
I said, okay, this is the point for truth for me.
Mm.
Because they was like, do you still want to do it? How do you feel? I said, yes, this is what's happening. Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
They said, if you say yes, because they're entertaining, be busy shooting big projects. And when I said yes, they worked their ass up until that Saturday for me with big projects. They said, we're going to do this. And they worked extra hard.
Mm-hmm.
And, one thing about me being a photographer, studio BFA, when I talked to the director, I said, I shoot with a hospital. He said, you're a traditionalist.
Mm.
You get, over the years, everything that I have done builds up to this. So he understood. I know lighting, studio lighting.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
know what
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
We had production meetings, pre-meetings, tracing okay and things. We had the stylists. We had
Mm-hmm.
a full crew of 25.
Now you said this was right while you were in the hospital, or you had a second stroke, and you were
In
still like
2021,
you were
I
still
was doing
doing
Zoom
all
meetings.
this at the time.
Yeah, I was doing Zoom meetings. When I got out, it was the after Thanksgiving, and then
Okay.
after Thanksgiving, we planned everything here.
Oh,
Because we
okay.
had to get the cast. Some of the cast members left. We had to
Mm-hmm.
take a casting class by SAG,
Mm-hmm.
looking at 200 pictures and deciding. One thing is interesting: most females didn't want to play a lesbian, so I'm on the couch just you know
Mm-hmm.
working, and then some of the old cast got upset, and because people think that if you don't get it up quick, you ain't doing nothing. But I'm doing the business in first. And you have to believe yourself when no
Mm-hmm.
one else did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was drama with people and things. And we ordered the clothes off of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
The stylist lost the clothes. And then I canceled it. Then it came to her place. And then we had to find one location, the church, because during that time, the church didn't want people, in the church. But we found a church in Harlem. We found a bar that is similar to one in New York. The director got the out footage. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, because they were so busy,
Mm-hmm.
and I go by the film, I
Mm-hmm.
said, Tracy asked him the color scheme. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I want to, storyboard before you film.
Well, what, with all of that, and what's sticking out in my mind is you said that this was like the second stroke, and you were in the hospital, and you were still carrying on and doing all these things, right? To
Right, because the
get
spirit told me to.
okay, to get the production. Yeah, one of the things would be what supported you in being able to do that, and where is the project today? What's going on with that project today?
Well, when they asked me, I had to sit still and listen to the spirit. Spirit said, yes, go ahead and do it. Because we had to get permits and everything. But the spirit also told me, after we plan and get the cast, the location, and managers, because you have strong women on your team, let them handle anything on location. You just sit back.
So you supervised more than actual.
No, because by the time we get to set, with production photography, I make sure production is tight. I don't like long productions. And
Mm-hmm.
that was all the work I did after the hospital. I think we filmed December 10th or 11th.
Mm-hmm.
All that was everybody knew what they was doing. Everybody got everything that needed because I trust the people, the quality of people I was working with,
Your team. Mm-hmm.
my team,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Mm-hmm.
trust them. I
Mm-hmm.
said Daniel and Tracy gonna have we have to get a COVID person because I have strong quality women around me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That the team is so good, Tracy and Danielle, that I can trust them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
question it. I didn't have to question the director Frank
Mm-hmm.
because he knew he told me the storyboard that day, and I trusted him to do it. It's his first time directing, but he does like a lot of music videos, like film.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew that I was traditional photographer like him,
Mm-hmm.
and the spirit told me yes, he has the right idea. You
So
know.
it's really, it was about the good team, the support
Yep.
that you got. Because of what comes to mind for me is, as I was thinking about it, how we try to just do so much and that we don't actually necessarily reach out for the support that's available to us. So you were really able to lean into your team and the support, and you mentioned trust. So those are some big things, right? That I
Yeah,
would
it is.
say that supported you to right now where you are here today,
Yep.
talking about the project. What is, somebody picked it up? Where are we now? You're going to be on television. I mean, I
Well,
know it started on the
well,
internet.
first, everybody has make sure we have contracts with everybody
That's
that
what
your
you said.
entertainment board
Contracts are
does.
important. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
that keep everybody know what they're doing. So
Documents,
Tracy
right.
is in the film. She did Lemon Twist by Lifetime, the
Hmm.
first Hispanic movie. So she wants to put it in different film festivals to get
Okay.
buzz about it. We are
Okay.
in the Tribeca, in the Sundance. We're gonna
Hmm.
go back to Tribeca.
Oh,
We was
okay,
in the
cool.
New York
Hmm.
Independent Film Festival this
Hmm.
last month.
Okay.
We got PR in the UK about it, and
Hmm.
with queer women over 40.
Hmm.
One thing is
Okay.
interesting that we are women over 40
Oh,
knocking
okay.
down doors and doing this on in the film business.
Hmm.
And so, some people call us, you just like Tyler Perry, you do everything.
Hmm.
I said, no, I learned how to do everything because when something don't go right on set, we have to be able to do it. And we put up the money, me and Danielle, for the short. I wanted to be quality. I said that all along 10 years. So that means we are responsible for everything,
Hmm. Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know. And I love the cast. We got 50 Cent from Black Mafia family. He plays my ex husband. We got Ariel, and she's wonderful. We got the mother from CSI, a stellar cast. We
Hmm.
also had the lead in what the Book of Mormons. I'm gonna carry her when we sign her for TV. She's
Hmm.
gonna be my ex mother-in-law older daughter, so she's
Hmm.
playing Nancy. Everybody got drama, and this is the loosely based fictional drama of my life.
Hmm. Okay.
And so now it's just marketing it and pushing it, and I'm gonna chant and pray that it get picked up by the end of the year.
Hmm.
And
Right. Oh,
that's
right.
another thing that we have to deal with. Okay,
Because I was saying,
another new
I'm sure
business
there are a lot of
venture.
along the way you have to deal with different challenges, right? And
Yeah, a whole different challenges.
do you think that because it's about lesbian women, your challenges are different or no?
No, I think the people that you work with, like the stylist came late because she's so good, she lost her clothes, and you just got to work with that.
Mhm.
Okay, let me cancel and reorder it. You
Mm,
know,
okay, I see the different challenges
right?
are based
Because
on.
if you got good people, nothing is never gonna go right of a day of filming. And then the reverend at the church, because she was late, and he spoke with the cast and the people, and he came down angry. I was supposed to be out here at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
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 And
Mm-hmm.
so he yelled at me. I'm looking at him, so now I can't yell. Everybody, the whole cast. I said, "Do you know these who these people are down here? These celebrities?"
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked at him. I said, "Didn't we pay you?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we pay you?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now you could have left the janitor there. You didn't have to stay for three, but you want to make sure this new church ain't tore up. But I thank you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Mm-hmm.
went out. At least after challenge you have to do. The old Gill of me would have cussed him out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm calm. I had to help by Danielle, the other people, and even the cast. Well, he act like he's a devil. I said, just be calm. Let's
Right.
get through the shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Just to get the
someone lost
project
stuff.
in mind.
Someone took my
Right.
purse. You
Exactly.
know, but the Spirit told me before I went a sec, leave the main funds card for Jill and Pete at home.
Mm.
Okay. Leave that and transfer some in your regular, it's a small amount, because you're always going to need to buy something to set. I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I did. It was
Mm-hmm.
Thief on the set.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You besides that, what you're working on another photography exhibit, the prevalent photography exhibit?
well, I
What's
worked
that?
with Shimmer Art because I figured me pushing Jill and Pete. They do like it's in Venice,
Mhm.
botanical, and we
Okay.
have to do like 7x7 cards that deal with the earth.
Okay. Okay.
We have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I'm doing Jill and Pete, the doctor said I have to rest and pace now because I've been pushing it. So that's how I get to art. I always wanted to exhibit at the botanical where there's two black women run the top awards.
Mm-hmm.
So I do group things with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a exhibit at Harlem Heat Gallery. They was like, "How you doing this after the film?" I said, "Because the spirit told me." You know, I shot the pictures already, so it's this framing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Prevalent deals with the social issue, so it's just me getting out the frame.
Mm-hmm.
And so that got me into the exhibit in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Using your
always
art for different issues that are
right
happening.
prevalent,
Right.
yeah.
I like
So
that.
that's how that keep up. And also I have a Mother Earth one to deal with you know the earth was not taken care of. That's what Shimmer Art is about. Eco, just deal with the our earth and our world because I feel
Mm-hmm.
that is important now.
Mm-hmm.
So I custom build the frames. I always use archival pictures because prevalence stacking up without issues. And I did the one Roe versus Wade before it way happened in the
Mm-hmm.
early '90s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I know that all those pieces are going to come together. It was in Art Basel twice, 2018 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
So I constantly try to do one piece that relaxes me from regular photography or filming. And when I had my stroke, I started getting into paintings. Is it getting into paintings now?
Oh, you're
I have
painting now, right?
I have yet to show it. This is one of them that deal with slavery. I have one as an angel, and I put all the people
Mm-hmm.
that got killed by the police.
Mm.
So I've been doing, because this is the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
everything, beginning how this all started. The very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 4 or 5 paintings I've yet to exhibit. Because the first stroke, I'm now paralyzed. The doctor said paint to get me moving.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I got into paintings that next year I'm going to start sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is
And
always custom made and mixed media. This
mm-hmm.
is way in the water because we came in turbulence water
Mm-hmm.
on slave ships.
Mm-hmm.
It was 1619. And the
Mm-hmm.
chaos that stirred racism. This is what
Right.
all this is about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that angel with the people got killed by gunshot, it was out in Jill Galleries in Miramont. So I have two Mother Earths that's in the Venice Biennial.
Hmm.
So keeping contact with the people, like we kept in contact, is
Hmm.
always good
Hmm.
because you never know, because they oh you can paint you can paint. Didn't the doctor tell you to paint? And they had a lot of projects coming up, and that got me started from the first stroke.
Hmm. Hmm.
And Daniel's like, "What you paint? How do you know?" I said, "Angel. Is this came angel?"
Hmm. Just
And I
flow.
put the photographs of all the people who got killed. It was in
Hmm.
the Scardale news.
Hmm. That's
So
interesting that after the stroke, your creativity um, shifted into another form in terms of doing the painting now. You still do the photography, but then you shifted into the painting. It's an interesting, amazing story though, looking at you and talking about how you've been through two strokes, and even in the span of those two strokes, you've accomplished all these things,
yeah,
right?
because as I sit at the window and I prayed to Sharon, I got out before COVID. The universe said you will win a grant. I won the UK Women grant right after I got out of the hospital. And what made it so strange, I said, as I chant and look at the universe, I said, I'm applying for this grant. Let's
Hmm.
apply for the UK grant. And when I look at what I wrote, it was so messed up. And when I got out of hospital, they was like, well, you won the UK grant for racism prevalent. I was like, what? And I recently looked what I wrote. I was
Hmm.
like, because I trust the universe.
Mm.
And also I won the New York Fellowship for if you got medical issues. I won $5,000. I
Hmm.
applied for it. I don't know what I wrote, but Spirit told me right. And I got the money for my socks, um, the massage thing. I got the money for a treadmill.
Hmm.
I got all my weights, anything I needed to stand up on for my first stroke. If $5,000 came. As I read the grant now, I said, I know how I want this. Which is it was really messed up. But when I got out of hospital, Spirit said, apply for these two grants.
Hmm.
And that was good because at the time COVID hit, it wasn't no money coming in.
Hmm.
So I needed that thing to walk on balance where you see the old people on, and all that was expensive. And the
And
$5,000.
this happened during COVID. So, like in 2020, you had the first stroke.
Yep.
Mm.
In
That
2020,
must
I
have
had
been
a first stroke.
interesting.
And Channing, I looked at university. They said when you get home, I got out 2 days before it broke heavily in New York.
Mhm.
Start applying for these two grants. I did it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just trust what the universe told me to do, regardless of I'm right and wrong.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I got it because at the time, no one was getting any unemployment in. And I
Mhm.
needed those things for my health.
Mhm.
And
And
we
you
needed a
got them.
treadmill to keep us going,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
And I needed all the things, exercise, weight, because when I saw my therapy, everything he wanted, I had the funding for it,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that $500 helped with the unemployment.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I won another grant, and because I always wanted to win grants, I never thought I'd win a grant with a stroke, and what I wrote was not, I guess, proper, but they understood, and that extra money helped us
Mhm.
until unemployment came in. It kept us moving. And then that's when Sherman said, start painting. We got exhibits coming.
Mhm. So yeah, when you talk about the universe and chanting, I know that you chant. Talk about your spiritual journey. You grew up in the church. Talk about how you come to this point of your Buddhist
Well, I'm a Baptist from Detroit. And you know how
Baptist from
Baptists can
Detroit.
be.
Right. Well, I
from
didn't realize
from
you're a
7
Baptist
until
from
7:30
Detroit.
at night. But I always would question, you
Mhm.
know, why is the trade going around 10 times? Why do I have to be here all day? And then once I started working at the church office, I was working at daycare center. But when I got to the office, it's a different story when you deal with business. And
Mm.
so then I went to Miriam Williams Church, Wayne Dryer. I felt better because I felt like they were talking common sense stuff that relate to people
Mm.
inner
Mm.
inner
Mm.
spirit. So when I came here, it's a whole different world in 2000. And I felt I needed a church, some spirituality, a group. So I went to all the churches that still wasn't pleased. And so I was working at Hershey Candy Store. I lost my job. And me and this lady would catch the bus in the morning going to work the same way. And then we see each other coming. And before I came to New York, I watched Tina Turner movie. And she sit there going, Nam no ho, they gang KO, Nam yo ho, they gang KO.
I
I
heard.
said, oh, great. I want to do that. I know what SGI will become. So every now and then in New York for survive, I was just saying, Nam no ho, they gang KO, Nam yo ho, they gang KO. And then she said, I lost my job. I said, I lost my job too.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, would you like to come by the house and chant? I said, chant what? She said, I'm an SGI Buddhist. Don't you know the Tina Turner movie? I said, okay, Spirit led me to that because I always wanted to um, learn about SGI Buddhism because Tina Turner dealt with herself, her challenge with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started chanting. It took 3 months before I became. But once I started reading everything about Shakyamuni and the Buddha and President Keita and how it's a creative religion, not even religion, it's just a creative energy to look at yourself and how to improve yourself. It starts with you. Anything you think and your environment starts with you. And you chant not only for yourself but others as things that you need to improve in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get that Gohanzen with the stroll, yes, your your challenges happen because you chant into the universe. And so, challenge with my sister, we overcame that. But it's teaching you to really look at yourself and why things happen and how to improve it. It does. And sitting down chanting, I do like 45 minutes a day now. Anything that I wanted to achieve or do, I always chant and I always meditate and I always pray.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a value in creation. And we always study the Lord Sutra, how SGI came about. And it's just like that book, Tina Turner book that she got um, about, I think half of it's coming. This is the latest one. It tells her journey and she explained SGI Buddhism. A lot of time when I was challenged, I sit in that Gohansa and cry.
Mm-hmm.
And it tell you what you need to improve first to change the situation and why you in this situation. And it start telling you how to get out of the situation. That's what keeps me going and challenging time
Mm-hmm.
because I think that you need to. We set a tone in the morning and we set a tone in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
and so you need to center yourself. And I meditate by Deepak Chopra, and I listen to Yanni Mansent,
Mm-hmm.
powerful words. It's strange too because I was going to Art Basel, right, and she had on her website um, talk about me in 3 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
I was bored doing building a prep flame, right? So I said, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it in, let it go because I was trying to build 2 more frames. And then someone said, this is Yanni Van Santa's assistant. We need to talk to you. I said, I ain't got time for that. I'm trying to get to Florida. It was a week before December.
Mm-hmm.
The email kept on coming. I would never respond. And then I got email directly from her. I said, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, oh. I was afraid to open up the email because
Mm-hmm.
you know how she knows the truth and she gonna be point blank with you, right? And someone said, you better open that email, open the email. She said, dear Charles, I said, oh, do I read further?
Mm-hmm.
She said, we've been trying to reach you. I don't need your address. I'm not gonna give it away.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, but we lost your video. And you didn't read what my assistant told you. I was like, yes, ma'am, by the email.
Mhm.
So we need you to resend it again. Please understand. I said, oh, her stuff is sure. she, I said, I will, Miss Yanni Vance. That at that point, I figured I wouldn't write nothing harsh.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so the sister came back, and she said, "We need to give this to you before you go to Art Basel." I said, "Do you mind that you give it to me afterwards?" She said, "Yes." Then Yanni Vancette wrote me another letter. I said, "Oh my God, I gotta read another email from her."
Right.
She said, "I want you to know this, my beloved."
Mhm.
I said, "Okay." I select a personal gift for you.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you're gonna be a success at Art Basel, and believe that I love you when you feel you're not loved. You are
Mm.
loved by me.
Wow.
I said, oh, I kept that email. So what she sent me was her shower gel because she was marketing it out. She's about to bring it out, and she sent me her last book. And she signed it. She left a personal note. I said, "Oh, I cheers the book." But as I opened up the book and read, I heard her voice. I had to shut it up. I said, "Oh, who's here with me?" It was about forgiving. I
Mm.
said, "Okay." She's very powerful, spiritual.
Mhm.
I read the first chapter, but I take my times because when you read, I don't know what she did the book, but it's all right. I know it's her. She's powerful and spiritual. And so I was the first one that tried her shower gels and soap. She said, I predict the wellness one for you. And sure enough, I started using it. And the DVD varicose veins in my legs went away.
Mm. Mhm. So the
And I've
product.
been using her shower gel, the wellness, ever since.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because sometimes people spiritual know stuff that you don't know.
Mhm.
I was like, why me? Why a winner? But it happens that way.
So the when we talk about our spiritual journey and our spirituality, what was the most significant part of your spirituality that supported you through these two strokes and to get to where you are today?
Because as a Buddha starts with you, and it told me it's a reason why
Mm.
you have this stroke. It's a reason why you're alive. And when I had my first stroke, I felt my mother touch my head and my hands and my face. She was rubbing it, right? She said, I'm here for you. And I missed that because, I lost my mother when I was 25.
Mm.
She would only come at night. And then before I left the hospital, she told me it's time to get out. So I don't know, she did something for the doctors. We had to call the absent there. You'll have to come up there.
Mm.
But the neurologist said, look at your brain.
Mhm.
I was like, why? You have a youthful brain. We don't understand how you have a stroke.
Mm.
I said,
Mhm.
this is strange, you know. And she said everything is going to be all right. And she took me to sleep, and she took me to a place that looked like Africa with waterfalls and leaves and stuff. And I saw my family literature was all women from the very beginning, all the aunts that I had buried. I
Mm.
said, why am I here? And I saw my grandmother, which I missed, and she took my hand and she dipped me in water.
Wow.
My mother was standing by, so she said no. And I came up. She said, I want you to see something. Do you see these flowers? It's not blooming.
Mhm.
COVID is going to come until they take care of Mother Earth. And that's when I realized that we as women need to raise up. And so she showed me the future.
Mm. Mhm.
So that was a gift. And that's when I started praying and chanting for everyone before I left, even nurses. So that's a spiritual woman there. I prayed and chanted, and for women, I got that diabetes down, everybody on that floor. And the first stroke, they had me on infectious disease for. My mother said, you need to get out. now.
Mhm. Mhm.
And she made that happen.
Mhm.
And so everything's happened for a reason. And with the Buddhism, any challenge I have, I cry, I sit, and the universe will help you, tell you or help you because it makes you look inside what you need to improve and where you need to go and why it's happened. Do you want to continue to repeat it?
Mhm.
So it's a personal one-on-one for my spirituality and meditating.
Mhm. And you get I think what just came to my mind is in these moments there's clarity around how you should be, what you should do, to really move to the next level or to heal or
Mm-hmm.
whatever is
Yeah.
next. I always think about how do we know what to do? And you talk a little bit. You said a few times, spirit told you or the universe told you. You have a way, right, of listening to spirit and acting from that space. And I think that that's something to um know and learn, and I
Right.
think I think
It
about
took times. I only learned it when I had my first stroke.
okay, uh-huh.
Because it's like a consciousness when we hear something in our head say, don't do that, go left. What they call that you hear it and a spirit tell you to do something but you don't do it. And so when I had my first stroke, it taught me that. Now the second stroke, the only challenge I had was because I was praying that I get one of those genius doctors to figure out what's going on with me. My nurse for that evening, she came in. She was like, I see you took the COVID test.
Mhm.
Why do you take your COVID shot? Why do you get the COVID shot? Now it was 1 o'clock. I just had a second mini stroke. Right, the old me would have cussed her out until I get out.
Mhm.
I need to rest. Okay,
Mhm.
and because the spirit, they say what would President Carter say? He
Mhm.
always talked to world leaders and 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 have conversations to make peace. So I
Mhm.
still did let her yell at me because they haven't diagnosed me for sexual. Not like I can get upset and cuss out. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I said, yes, you're right.
Mhm.
I said, do you have yours? No.
Mhm.
So I'm going to my mind. Okay, be calm. I said, well, that's your personal choice.
Mhm.
Everybody have their personal choice.
Mhm.
And I respect your personal choice. Respect mine. In my mind, thinking, I want you to get away from me right now.
Right.
Right.
What I was just
Forever.
thinking, when you were talking about, all your Buddhist practices, and you started off, and you was like, you were born in Detroit, a Detroit Baptist, right?
Yep.
Do you lean into any of that basic upbringing, the stuff that you learned as a kid as a Baptist? Do you lean
Well, for
into
me,
any of that today? And how does the Buddhism and all that flow
well, I
together for
think
you?
every religion has the same thing. Like if we chant at the Gohanson,
Mm-hmm.
Baptists chant and pray with the cross or the Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So our religion has a similarity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some may be God, ours is the universe. It's the same. It's a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's no difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's no difference. As long as we all believe, that's all that matters. Because right now we're in a world that needs to switch over to women. Because we're in a world that we need to pray and work on our inner selves. Because Mother Earth feels all this energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have to learn how to respect one another. In that conversation with the nurse, I said, "Oh, Earth is Mother Earth is yes, they're damages. I look at natural geo. That's I had to find a common bond, and that's what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she came down. Okay, I said I respect you being what you believe are, and I respect you being a Buddhist. Okay, so we gotta find a common bond with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We may not do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
We not believe the same thing. Like when I went to the hospital with the four women, we prayed. She prayed. I chant, and I told her, you eat what I eat, so your diabetes can come down for 600, 400, 200. And when their pastor called, they'd be like, "There's a spiritual woman here. I don't need you to come."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I had all types of women, the poor guild one, the selling drugs. I helped her. The educated one, her daughter had diabetes. The other one had diabetes. I said, we have to change our diet. We change our mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to get out of this world that everybody have to be like one another. All religions are good. You pick the one that's best for you,
Right.
but
Exactly.
they all crisscross on some form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that in studying all of them
Yeah.
because I'm an interfaith minister. I study all religions to
Hmm.
understand each one, and they all, it's, everybody's going for the same thing. It's just
Yeah.
different um, paths, different ways, but it's the
Hmm.
same exact thing that we're
Thing.
all seeking or going for.
Yep.
And being respectful of all of that, you
Yep.
know, is one of the things that I find interesting in thinking about religion and spirituality and what how in the Christianity is the main way to go for Christians, and how in all religions, right, think that they're
Yeah.
the one, right? And
Jew, Baptist, Christian, we all believe in a higher power.
yes, that's it. We all believe in a higher power and how we relate to it every day in our lives. And one of
Yep.
the things that what I like about even in doing this show with the conversations about spirituality is really about it's okay, whatever you choose. If you choose art as your spiritual practice to paint that calms you and helps you find peace and takes you to the place, then that's your spiritual practice, right?
Right.
To support you because as we talk about it, we look around the world today, we need a lot of something right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. You know, it's the time to become a new after COVID. It really is to become a new you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
spirituality can be painting, it could be riding a motorcycle, anything that would calm you down. Because, see, when you haven't polished your head, your mind,
Mm-hmm.
you start thinking thoughts that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
So you're keeping that negative energy in you.
Around you. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the stroke is like. I can't do that because I know I have a lot of stuff. I don't want that negative energy in me. We get stuck like a movie, believing something that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can.
Mm-hmm.
You can make peace with anything, anybody. I don't believe that any human beings when will hurt you
Mm-hmm.
potentially because there's something going on with their fear and who they are that made them that way, and you got to change that way within yourself. Can't nobody help you but you. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with you
Mm-hmm.
because I do believe that every human being start out new as a baby, but the society and all this multimedia get them twisted, and all the earth, Mother Earth, your universal God want us is to really love one another.
Yeah. We talk about
Understand?
love being that common thing throughout all. And even I think about when when we talk about how do we want to live and how in a common way, like with all the religion, the races and all that going on, love can
Mm-hmm.
be, is that thing that can bring us all together
Yeah.
to live and exist together here with all of our different beliefs, our spiritual practices, our
Uh-huh.
religions. It could all come down because the Bible is about love.
Yep.
Buddhism is about love. Hinduism, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The common factor in all of them. Even when you look at Wicca, it's about do no harm to anyone,
Yep.
right? So the practices there are positive for them. So
Yep.
it's like it's almost also like we judge other religions. If you're not this one, then we
Right.
sit in a space where we tend to want to judge. But
Yep.
I think that each person gets to choose what works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, it's an individual, it's an inside thing. Go within what works for you. And I just thought of this though. Sometimes we think people don't go to church and they don't have religion because they haven't explored anything else, right? So you
Right.
think if Christianity is the only thing you know and the only way you've heard of what it is, and then you reject that, and then you have nothing else to put in the place.
Then where's what's going on with that stops you to work on you. So
And
you just
that's where
work
we
doing
find,
what the world tell you to do.
right, exactly. And that's what we find. And I think about that too when I think about the young kids. It's very different now in what they hear, how they hear church, how they hear religion, how all of that. So we need to speak a language that works for
For
them,
them.
that will give the same principles. So I think it's
Yep.
really about
Hmm.
how we live this life and how do we get that message over. For us it was going to church. We all went to church. We learned
Well,
all.
we had to by our parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And
let's be truthful about
we
it.
didn't have a choice,
Right.
but we
You
got
better not stop by the corner store and spend that money. We didn't have a choice. We came up in that strict relation. Get up and go to church.
right.
And
We
don't spend that candy money. We had to. These kids now are totally different. You know,
yeah,
the strictness that, which was good discipline. You know, you go, I don't want to raise my kids, so they can have more freedom. But we need to relate to the message to them
yeah,
about the spiritual God on their level,
right. Exactly.
because they got freedom. They tell you off, I'm not going to do this, and that will continue to go on.
Right.
They ain't
Exactly.
gonna sit there boring service.
Hmm. And we
And
think about
sometimes as adults realize we got to come to that level
you have to
in
come.
order to get the message across.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, it is interesting, and as we see, as time goes on, how even in we grew up in the church, we had to go, but now we get a choice, right? We get
Yeah. When you out of the house grown and on your own, okay? That's when you get your choice.
you get the choice, right? But as I said, when I left home and went to college, I just didn't go to church anymore, right? But I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I picked
Oh,
anything else.
freedom. Oh, freedom. And now look at you, you're a rebel.
Right. Who would have thought, right? Never in my dream, right?
Right, right.
Never in my vision, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Even
you came a full circle.
right, exactly. Like a full
These kids nowadays, we just gotta chant and pray. But I do believe, um, by them seeing us in our lives, and our grandparents, like how we was restricted,
circle.
but it was for a reason,
Mhm.
for us, for the world to protect us. And I do believe that discipline should happen and come. But you know, as the generations went on, because my mama and father teach me strict, I ain't gonna do that to my kids.
Right.
And so within that, the effect of it we see now.
Mhm.
But by them studying us, when George Floyd got killed, because they got tired
Mhm.
of seeing us,
Mhm.
you know, and we always felt it, how they was treating us.
Yeah.
And so your kids gonna feel it. When George Floyd got killed, they was like hands off. They didn't do one march. They kept on going to demand, um, the world and people. This is what we want: respect.
Mhm.
So it's a good side to them. You may think they playing videos, but they're listening.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
make they ain't doing, but they're listening.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, and I do respect them for that. But see, when they have their kids, everything that they did to us come back on them.
Right,
I
right,
have a niece like that. I told her, your baby gonna cry 24/7. She gonna run through a store and lay down, kid. Sure enough,
right.
she's so tired. See, you know what I mean? She's tired. I said, everything you did to us and me, your child gonna do. No, my baby's gonna speak out her next year. I said, take that pen in your back.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that's the wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
because our parents used to say that. Wait till you have your kids.
Right, right, right.
So
Mm-hmm.
everything come back full circle.
It really does, right?
Yeah.
And really, it is about teaching the kids. What are we teaching them? And as you said, the wisdom that we have, because we've been through a lot of life, how do we share that and pass it on?
Well, I think this generation now, like us, we could go out and do stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you're doing wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but you never get caught. We never get caught.
Mm-hmm.
I was so my niece is like, did you think that through?
Right.
you know, they don't have this smart. Just did that get in trouble. So it's just the new generation. As they get older, things would change as well, and we have to get to their level to teach them about life and spirituality if they want to listen. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times they come grown and say, "I know."
Right, right, capturing them, and
Yeah.
I've had a few people talk about being an integral part of the church and how they are working to attract youth by going to their level, talking to them, and being able to create a space where they feel comfortable and create a space where they can really express what they
Right.
want. Where we didn't have that space,
No,
right?
no, no. Express what? What you say? Keep your mouth shut.
Right, right. But now I think it's really important that, with this new generation, you have to create that space because it's not the same. So,
Well, that's one thing I like about SGI Buddhists is that we've been in years pushing the youth to the forefront. They have music and dance in our service. Whatever music and dance they want, we support. They have concerts. So SGI really, they have talks, really, really push the youth to the front, and we listen to them. That's one thing I like about SGI USA.
mhm,
You know, they put and it's so much fun. We have different youth groups from kindergarten up. They do their performance. We talk to them. It's not like the Baptist church. You know,
mhm,
it's only our. You would never see a performance. Welcome to New York. you
mhm,
know,
mhm,
it's about happiness. Someone speaks about the challenge they had, and then we go home. Because whoever speaks about the challenge you have, you start thinking about yourself.
mhm.
My life ain't bad. And then the youth bring you up by the dancing and stuff like that, the singing.
So it's a good like community gathering.
Yeah, yeah. And we really it's the age of the youth because after we gone, who's gonna really take over the SGR? Now in the Baptists, they don't do that. They hold on to the position forever and ever. A deacon and deacon. This is me. I ain't love. So they never put the youth in position and relate to them like the SGI Buddhists.
I never thought about it like that. Um,
And we, we,
yeah,
we have
because
them
when
talk
you
about
think
things in
about it,
specific.
yeah, it's interesting. As you just said that, I think about it. Yeah, there are a lot of old people
Yeah.
that
They
are
ain't
the,
leaving their post.
but I think they think that age is where the wisdom comes. Whether you get to be a deacon after you're older, maybe. I don't know.
Well, with us, we advise them
Yeah.
and we listen.
Mhm.
Every youth's gonna make mistakes, but
Right.
it's the main leader that would talk, would listen to them. If you want to do this, let's work this out this way.
Mhm.
We let them put more on them and the SGI Buddhists.
But that's really really interesting. And as I think about it, also the kids who are Buddhists, their parents probably are, and they're getting exposed to a parent or a
Yeah,
relative or someone that's letting them know that that option is available.
yeah.
You
Like Bento is a sister SGI Buddhist, and her daughter's leading now. She talked about stuff when she was younger and working for MTV,
know. Hmm.
and so and they be doing many. She came up doing many stuff with you, so she talked about Buddhism, you know, and how she was challenged with things, how she overcome it, and they've been. She's in her 20s now. That was all helpful to her career and where she is now.
Well,
So we
it's
happy
been
with this.
we're coming to a close. What would you like? I'll give you a moment to share wisdom, words, whatever you'd like to share.
Well, never stop giving up on yourself. Always believe, even when people, if you believe it, even when people don't believe it, it would happen because the more you tell the universe you're a God, it's going to happen. Keep your mind clear, pray and chant, and don't expect things to turn over overnight.
Hmm. Hmm.
And believe in yourself. When people don't believe in you, you believe in you. You and your God or your universe. And be happy. Don't get sad when stuff happens. Life is full of challenges, period.
Hmm.
It's how you think about it and how you deal with it. You could go on the dark side, like I'm Darth Vader, and keep yourself there.
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
you say, okay, this is a challenge. Let me pray. What do I need to do for myself and others to improve the situation? You never is not going to have challenges in life,
Right. Always challenges. Right.
right? And those challenges make you who you are, and it's taking you to where you need to be.
Hmm. Hmm.
And how to get through them is your prayer and your spirituality and your religion.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'm
You can
excited.
overcome anything.
You can, you really can. And it takes something, right? Because as I think and I look at you, like you say you've had two strokes and you're still thriving and you're still moving and not even necessarily like they say, you don't even know why, and they can't even tell you based on looking at your brain why. That's challenging also to not know why, but to say things you said, yeah, but everything happens for a reason, right? And then
Yep.
still continue to just move forward and be creative and live your life. So great. And
It's
thank
take away from me being sad about it because I'm
mm,
doing something I love, positive.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is a very good point. It's for right, not wallowing in the fact that it is, but then saying, yeah, well, this is what it is, but then moving forward and keep doing things that can bring you some joy. I always say, like you said, there are challenges in life and we can't always be happy. We're going to cry, we're going to have moments of sadness, but we can also have moments of joy and happiness. And I say every day, find a bit of joy, and the goal is to when things happen, it's not to like just do the whole bypass, but know that you're sad, feel sad, but then don't
Hmm.
stay there. Find something that can support you to move into another feeling, because sad is a feeling, happy is a feeling, all
Yeah.
of it, right?
We're emotional beings.
Yeah, that's right. So
We're
just
emotional beings.
supporting yourself in moving to just another space by thoughts, the thoughts that you do.
I wanted to tell you the genius doctor did figure out. He needed to get into my brain. He did
Mhm.
a lumbar puncture,
Mm.
and they found out my brain fluids was loaded with chicken pox virus. And
Is
I already
that
took the
why?
shingle shots. Yes.
And
When I
and
had it with 14, it was swimming all in there.
and you say you took a shingle shot?
Yeah. That's why they couldn't figure out because they did the half at the hospital. They sent the other half to CDC. It came back this February. In March, they had to do a 2 weeks infusion when I was up from 4:30 to 11:30.
Hmm.
Now they're deactivated. And the next thing they're trying to figure out because I'm pro clogger. Why is my blood clogging 24/7?
All right. So there's some movement towards
Hmm.
figuring out what's going on. Wow. That's incredible. Right?
So I have to constantly chant and pray for them to figure out why I clock 24/7. Just sitting here, I'm clocking.
Mm.
But I'm thankful I'm alive
Yeah.
because it's not my time.
Right. Exactly. Did you live your life differently since the strokes?
Well, yes, I appreciate two things that, I don't know why I was shown the earth in Africa, but two things I appreciate is life and and assisting people because it's the moving energy that our minds have been stuck in in blaming people, being upset, important things. And that's also from this media. Too fast, one just me.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps me to constantly see the layers of people. And if they take my advice, they do. They don't, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep a surrounded shield around me,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so it's time for every human being to work on the inner self if we're gonna get out this mess,
Mm-hmm.
because the
Well,
world needs to change. And Mother
yeah,
Earth feel it.
yeah. And we're the
Uh-huh.
change. We are the change. Yeah.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Yeah. That's what it really needs. Well, I love you and thank
I
you.
love
Thank
you
you
too.
so much for joining me. And I will definitely be in touch and I'll be looking for Julian's Peak and all the exciting things that's happening with that.
I text you as the trailer was on Queer and 40. So
Okay.
we'll wait to go to the next film festival. So
All right.
you can see the
Have a
trailer
good
for that. All
evening.
right.
All
I
right.
appreciate you. And I'm
Right.
glad we keep on connecting on projects and projects.
Yes.
And I love you. I love
Love you
everyone
too.
out there. Much love.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Mhm. Thank you for joining me tonight on Conversations with Reverend G. I'm here every Monday night live, WEMS Radio. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're also on Twitch. You can find me every day on Facebook as Reverend Grenetta Mason, also on Instagram as Rev Grenetta. Have a great week and find a bit of joy every day. Try to find a bit of joy. I know we're going through so much and so many things are happening, but just think of how you could put a smile on your face moment by moment at any point during the day. And I send out a lot of love and support to all of you. And I will see you again right here next week. Have a great week.